Themes. The themes are mainly used to help us identify a process. Libraries, for example, they have labels, so you can store documents in a library and you can add labels. This way you can better identify the document. Well, with a process, it's basically the same. We have a process, we create a new process, and we want to be able to identify it. In order to identify it in a better way, we can use themes. So here we can see an example of my tasks where I have several tasks, and I can see things like the task name, the class and process name, the reference, the code, but I can also see themes. Here we can see we're seeing themes 1 and 2, and I have a filter. This way I can filter by the information of these themes. For example, let's say I have to see different customers because I have different tasks in my inbox, in my tasks. So maybe I have to go to a certain area. So a good idea would be in the themes of this process to put the address of the customers. This way, the user, the employee who's going to see his tasks, he knows which ones he wants to manage first because maybe he's going to a certain area of a certain city. So he can group by that concept and better identify those activities that he has to perform. Now here we can see an example where the flow goes through different objects, and obviously this is a very simple example because we're just going to split the flow of the process in two different directions. We have a DA gateway that sends a flow to different objects. So here we can send the flow to this object here, and down here we're going to send it to this object here. Now we can see the values in themes 1 and 2 are these. And this one it says status review pending, and this one it says 0 added proposals. Okay, in this scenario we can see the flow reaches this task. Once this task has been performed, it reaches the DA gateway, and this sends a flow in both directions. Now, let's imagine here, after some time, after 5 minutes or 5 days or whatever, the flow continues, and here we update the themes. We change the value of the theme. What would happen if someone accesses the list of intermediate events? They wouldn't see this value. They wouldn't see that the status is still review pending and 0 added proposals, because once the flow goes out of this object, it would update the themes. It would change these values. For example, now the status is period closed, and here it says 3 added proposals. So if someone enters this object and sees the information of this process, they'd see these themes here, and it would allow them to better identify this process and know that the period has already been closed. So this system task that allows us to change the themes is very useful because it's going to allow the users during the process to be able to identify better those activities that they have to work with. There's different ways of changing the themes in a process. For example, when I go to the configuration, to the settings of a certain field in a form, I can actually mark the option for the themes. And once I've marked it, it means that this field here now is going to be a theme. We can set up to 10 themes. We can even set up compositions. So let's imagine I create a field and I say, in this field, I want the address, but I also want the name of the customer, and I want maybe something else, maybe his ID. So I can make a composition. I can upload all those values in one unique field, and then I can use those values in order to mark it as a theme. This is something we'll see later on. So I can indicate what fields are going to be themes in the forms, but I can also do this with a system task. All I have to do is select the type of system task. Okay, it's an uploader system task with the function update themes. And then here I have to select the panel field that I want to use as themes. Here I'll mark theme 1, I'll select the panel field, and overwrite means that if it already has a value, we want to overwrite it. If we mark no, it means that if it already has a value, we don't want to overwrite it. So we can see the steps here are quite easy. All we have to do is select the uploader system task, select the function, select the panel fields we want to use, and indicate if we want to overwrite the themes.